Hello students, today I am going to teach you the seven cervical vertebra, which is also called as vertebra prominence. First, identifying features. The seven cervical vertebra is identified by the presence of long spinous process. This is the long spinous process of seven cervical vertebra, which can the tip of this spinous process it can be felt through skin in the lower part of back of the neck. Now coming to the external features, this is the body of seven cervical vertebra. This is the vertebral canal, which is nearly triangular in shape and larger compared to the body. These are the two laminae. This is the spinous process, which is long, thick, non-bifid, and ends in a tubercle. It is nearly horizontal. This is superior articular facet, which is directed backward. This is inferior articular facet, which is directed forward. These are the two pedicles. This is the transverse process. The transverse process of seven cervical vertebra, it is comparatively large in size. The posterior root is larger compared to the anterior root. The posterior root it ends in a tubercle called as posterior tubercle. Anteriorly, there is no tubercle. Anterior tubercle is absent. This is the foramen present in the transverse process called foramina transversarum. It may be bifid or it may be entirely absent on one or both the sides. Now coming to the anatomical position. The seven cervical vertebra should be kept in anatomical position in such a way that its body is directed forward, spinous process directed backward. To determine upper and lower part of the vertebra, the superior and inferior articular facet is used. The superior articular facet it is directed backwards and inferior articular facet it is directed forward. So with the help of superior and inferior direction of superior and inferior articular facet, you can easily determine the upper and lower part of the vertebra, and with the help of body and spinous process we can determine anterior and posterior part of the vertebra. Now coming to the attachments. Anterior longitudinal ligament is attached to the upper and lower border of the body of vertebra anteriorly, and posterior longitudinal ligament it is attached to the upper border and lower border of the body behind. Now coming to the attachment of ligamentum flava. Ligamentum flava is attached to the upper border and lower part of the anterior surface of the lamina. Now coming to the attachment on the spinous process. To the spinous process of seven cervical vertebra, there is attachment of trapezius, ligamentum nuchae, splenius capitis, rhomboides minor, serratus posterior superior, the interspinalis, semispinalis, spinalis, and multifidus muscle. To the transverse process, there is attachment of the suprapleural membrane. To the transverse process, there is attachment of suprapleural membrane. The vertebral canal, if it when it is the foramina transversarum, when it is present, it transmits an accessory vertebral vein. So this is all about seven cervical vertebra. Now coming to the applied aspect of atypical cervical vertebra. First, applied aspect of atlas. The atlas vertebra may get fused with the occipital bone. This condition is called as occipitalization of atlas. And in this condition, the compression of spinal cord occurs and this requires surgical decompression. Now coming to the applied aspect of axis vertebra, the pharyngeal and retropharyngeal inflammation may cause decalcification of the atlas vertebra. and this may lead to loosening of the attachment of transverse ligament, which may eventually yield causing sudden death from dislocation of the odontoid process of the axis. Now coming to the applied aspect of 7 cervical vertebra or vertebra prominence, the entire root of the transverse process of 7 cervical vertebra may sometimes be separate. The entire root of 7 cervical vertebra, it may get separate and forms a cervical rib. So this is all about today's topic. Thank you.